looking all types of crazy. You're looking all types of like mismatch mess. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm very excited for today. Today we're going to be talking about the Saie Beauty Skin Tint, the Saie Beauty Slip Cover, which is what it's actually called. It's called the Slip Cover, and I'm very excited to talk about it today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the product, and then other skin tints that I have talked about on this channel, then we are going to go and kind of compare and contrast and give you the information you need based off of those, which might be the best for you, because not all products are created equal for everybody. Some will work better for others. So yeah, that's it for kind of my intro. I want to know down below actually what videos you want to see. Also, I'm gonna apologize right now in advance for my nails because they are disgusting, and I, for whatever reason, did not remove my nail polish before getting on camera. If you have any other video ideas, leave it down below. I've heard the calls, requests, please, for me to do a makeup tutorial kind of thing where I'm doing makeup on camera. So that, I'm working on that. That is going to come down the pipeline soon. But anything else, please leave it down below. And without further ado, let's jump in and talk about the Saie Beauty Slip Cover. All right, you guys, let's get into it. So the Saie Beauty Skin Tint right here. I have the shade 5, but I can also go to the shade 6. What I really like about this, first and foremost, is that it has SPF in it. I think that that is so great because, you know, I think a lot of the time, first of all, people just forget to wear sunscreen. Everyone needs to wear sunscreen. People, get on your sunscreen game. Everyone needs to get on their sunscreen game. I just feel like people don't wear sunscreen sometimes, and it's like, you wear it. You want to age gracefully. Sunscreen is important, and it's great when your beauty products have sunscreen in it. This is a really nice product to have SPF in it because you don't get flashback. I know with SPF in products, sometimes you can get like crazy, gnarly flashback. You do not get flashback with this. You don't have to worry about looking like a crazy flashback queen when you're wearing this. Like, that is not going to be an issue. This does not flashback on camera, which is really nice. SPF products can get a little bit scary, especially if you're like going to an event and has SPF and you're like, oh honey, I'm gonna look all types of crazy. You're not gonna look crazy with this one. This photographs really beautifully. I really like the shade range within this product. I just want to say, like, I'm very impressed. It kind of has they hit all the undertones that you need. So like, let's say medium dark or medium tan, whatever category you would put me in, this is great because it has a warm tone, it has a neutral tone, it hits the tones that you kind of want and need, which is really important when it comes to like skin tints, tinted moisturizers, whatever it is that you want to call them. They, undertone kind of is key here because it doesn't need to be a perfect match, unlike foundations, but you do need the undertone to match, because sometimes without that, you're looking all types of crazy, you're looking all types of like mismatch mess. This is really nice. It has a lot of variety and option, and I really, really appreciate that. So consistency wise, this is, just put a little bit on the back of my hand. This is what it looks like when it comes out. And this, I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand so you can kind of see the coverage. This is the coverage. Okay, so I'm actually wearing it on my face today just so you can kind of see what it looks like. This is the coverage. So this is more of like a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it goes really full. So if you're the type of person that has hyperpigmentation, I just want to say right now, this is not going to cover your hyperpigmentation. Especially if you get those really dark ones, which I am currently suffering with so many hyperpigmentation marks. To cover those hyperpigmentation marks or conceal them more, I use something else on top of it, which I'm currently testing, and I'm very impressed with it. But I use something else to kind of cover those when I wear this, if I really want to make sure I want to cover my hyperpigmentation, which in general, I don't necessarily want to do all the time. Hyperpigmentation is just, we're human. It's a part of life. Having dark marks isn't the worst thing ever. And just making them a little bit less apparent, I like. And this definitely does like make it less apparent, but not so much so. Like today I'm gonna be comparing it to another skin tint that definitely covers them more. So if you're looking for coverage for, you know, hyperpigmentation marks or dark marks, there's another one that I'm going to compare this to that will like kind of fill that void for you. But the coverage on this is really nice. Again, it is medium coverage. It has SPF. It has a nice shade range. The way that it kind of wears is it's a little bit more dewy. So if you're a very oily skin person, that's okay. You can still wear this, but you'll definitely need to set it. because it definitely wears a little bit more on the dewy side, and throughout the day you definitely look a little bit more oily, which I don't necessarily mind, but you know, if you're again an oily skin person and you want to try this out, it's just important to set it. But the nice part about this is it doesn't cling to like texture or dry patches. That I find is really, really nice, because some skin tints do, I mean, some foundations, you know, base products do cling to dry patches. So if you're the type of person that has like acne marks that tend to get dry, which I do sometimes, when they cling to that, that's not great. Or if you're the type of person that has eczema on their face, or, you know, actual acne that, you know, can dry out, it tends to be like just a frustrating point, because it highlights that more than like just kind of glides over it. This glides over it, which is nice. So if you have texture, again, dry marks, whatever it is, and you're concerned, like a lot of people have stuff around their nose, this isn't going to highlight that and make it more apparent. This is just going to kind of glide over it and move on with its day. It's going to let you move on with your day, which is really, really nice. It is a really like, it's an interesting product, because what is it to compare it to? What can I compare it to? This is a good, if you're the type of person that loves the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, like this would be a good one to go to, because it has kind of a similar consistency and a similar dry down, and it kind of fills that void, whereas like other skin tints I've talked about don't necessarily 100% dupe that product, if that makes sense. This is definitely the most dupe of that I have tried. It gives you that finish, and it is really nice. This shade here is 5, like I said before, it is neutral, but if I wear shade 6 with this as well, I can just mix them together and get like that perfect combo, because I tend to be a little bit more warm neutral as opposed to just like neutral. I'm definitely not warm. So if I have to pick between the two, I always go neutral if there is no warm neutral, which is like, it's fine. Like, I don't need a warm neutral. Neutral is perfectly fine. But if you are kind of more my complexion, 5 is really, really great if you're kind of picking between the two and you're like, oh, I skew more neutral, but I'm also kind of a little bit warm. I would go neutral over warm, because warm can just look a little bit, not orange, but just too warm. I guess orange. Sometimes it can like just look a little bit orange. This is really nice. And even though it's neutral, it's not going to give you like an ashy look to the skin if you are like skew a little bit warm. It's a great product. I'm actually really impressed with it. I've been testing it since last year, and I just, I'm really impressed with it, and I'm kind of testing it alongside other products, you know, give you a really good synopsis on it and give you the information that you need to make an informed decision. And this is nice in comparison to other skin tints. Like, let's jump into that. Okay, so in terms of skin tints here, let's compare these. So these both have SPF in them, which is really great. This has 35, this has 40. The difference here obviously is the fact that this is a cream, like a true kind of tinted moisturizer style cream, and this is a very liquidy product. A little bit, oh my god, there's makeup everywhere. It's very liquidy, as you can see. Now the difference in coverage here is this can kind of go to medium if you really build it up. However, this definitely, I would say, in terms of just like one kind of, like if you do just a couple drops and you put it on your face, and you do one pump and you do this on your face, this one has more coverage off the bat right away, unless you only apply a little bit of the product. Whereas this one, even if you apply a little bit more of the product than you do here, you still kind of have to build it up. Undertone wise, I would say that this one just does a better job in the medium tan, medium like dark category. I guess medium dark, medium tan. I don't really know what category I would categorize myself as, but definitely a medium. This one just skews a little bit more warm and doesn't have as many options, whereas this definitely has more options. Both of these don't cling to dry patches, which is really, really nice. They both give a really beautiful dew to the face. Again, with this, just like this one, if you have more oily skin, I would just say you gotta set a girl. You gotta set a girl, because like she is definitely dewy. I have more combination skin, but on the places that are very oily, like this gets very, very dewy very quickly. This one takes a little bit longer, but still gets dewy. So that's kind of the difference here. So the difference here, this is a liquidy product. You need to shake this one up. You actually need to shake both of these up, whereas this one you do not need to shake up. Just because it's a cream. This is definitely more cream. This is very, very liquidy and runs. This is also an oil base. So that's the difference here. I would say in terms of dew, shockingly enough, this one gets more dewy than this one. and just shocking because this is an oil and this one isn't. In terms of SPF, this one has SPF, this one does not. This one clings to dry patches and texture, this one does not. So that's kind of the varying difference here. They're both really great, I like both of them, but again, it's just different occasion. I would wear them for different times. If I want SPF and I know I'm gonna be outside all day, I will wear this. I will still wear an SPF underneath this because people need to be wearing SPF underneath their products even with SPF in them. But that's really the difference. This one has more coverage, so if I definitely want to make sure I'm like covered up, then I go here. Both really great products. I like both of these a lot. And yeah, then lastly, we're going to compare two that are the most similar because they are both cream style. This is the Saie Beauty Skin Tint. I really like this. This one has more coverage than this one. That's what I'm going to say off the bat. That is the main difference here. This one also has SPF and this one doesn't. So I'm just going to do on the back of my hand a comparison of each, like a little bit of each on the back of my hand, just so you can see what it looks like. Now you're going to see immediately tone wise there's a huge difference here. The Saie Beauty is more warm tone, this one is not. The thing about the Saie Beauty, if you know, are looking for like a better match, if you're more neutral, this one only comes in one shade for like the medium tan, medium dark kind of complexion. Actually, it only comes in one shade for like each kind of complexion area, I would say. And that can be like tough if you're like trying to find an exact match for undertone. But as you can see, they're very similar in consistency, even the way that they drop down. This one here is more dewy than this one. This one here, if you set it, can feel sometimes, depending on the day, if you have dry skin, do not set this because it can feel a little bit tight, just ever so slightly, but it's still, this one still performs really well with all the same products underneath. These are very, very similar products. This one just has more coverage. So if you're the type of person that's like, oh, I want something more like the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, I would go here because that just is a little bit more like this, whereas this one definitely has more coverage. They're both really nice. They both wear really nice throughout the day. Again, this one is just a little bit more dewy, but they're really nice products. I like both of these a lot. The only thing I would say with the Saie is if you are my complexion and you're more neutral, you might have a hard time finding like a good match, but I can still make this one work. Like it's definitely more on the warm side for me, but I can make it work, and I really like both of them. I'm gonna just show you. I'm gonna like put both of them on the back of my hand, just so you can kind of see the difference in coverage there. So obviously that's not fully blended out, but you can even see from the Saie Beauty one that has more coverage just even when you just go over it, but you can also see the tone difference, right? It's definitely a difference there. But if I want, you know, a little bit more coverage, but I want kind of like the finish of the Saie one, then I will mix these two together. And they actually do mix together really nice and kind of create that perfect balance. If I don't have the shade 6 with me, I will go with the shade 5 and then mix a little bit of the shade tan in Saie Beauty, and these are really nice. They blend really nice together. So if you're like, oh, I have the Saie, but I want to try the Saie, but I don't really know, they blend nicely together if you want to find like that perfect mix, but you don't want to have to buy 2 of these. They mix really well together. The kind of synopsis on this is this is a really, really good product. I really enjoy it. I think it wears beautifully throughout the day. And just like all of these, you know, they're not necessarily for everyone. I like all of them, but for different occasions. This one is really great. Everyday tinted moisturizer, photographs beautifully. There really isn't much that I can say that is bad about this. The only thing is if you tend to get greasy or oily throughout the day, you might have a little bit of an issue with this just because it definitely can be on the more dewy side, but it gives a beautiful finish to the face. It's a really nice product, and I'm a huge fan. That's it for this video. Please leave any product like that you want me to review down below. If you want any brand reviews down below, I am testing some fun products from new brands, and I'm very excited to share them with you in the coming like weeks, months. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.